Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a variant in pink gold launched in 2024 from Jaeger-LeCoultre. This is the Polaris Perpetual calendar with a rose gold case and a green gradient lacquer dial. This was a new variant for 2024. It features a number of practical measures in addition to impractical things like gold and moon phase displays. So let's go over the basics. It's 42 millimeters in diameter. I measure it 13.2 millimeters thick, 48.6 from lug tip to lug tip, and 21 millimeters is the spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference, and it wears quite nicely. This is a friendly case shape, and there is some downward angle to the lugs that helps to mitigate fit issues. I could actually recommend this for a wrist as small as 15 centimeters. My wrist is 16, and I feel like I've got plenty of clearance. It's not thin, but it's also not thick, and there's a step to the case flank and a slope to the crystal that means it probably will fit underneath a tight sleeve or a dress cuff. The watch has a strap in green that conforms to the case, and you can see on the underside we've got pull tabs, so you can just pop that right off the case without a tool. Pop, 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 pop. Roll around to the clasp, which is a friction fit double fold, and you can see that there's even a little release button, so you push there and the buckle comes off the strap. So you can pop the strap off the case without a tool, and you can pop the buckle off the strap without a tool. So for true freedom of strap swapping, you need to have two quick releases, not one. And so you have that here and you have it here as well. Taking a look at the external features of the clasp, you can see a curvature that echoes the lugs in some regards, a combination of polish and satin with the Jaeger-LeCoultre Company logo, and then this is all snap-shut friction fit. The watch features 100-meter water resistance, so while it's not a diver, it is inspired by a diver and still swimmably water resistant. The inspiration for the form factor and a lot of the dial cues goes back to the 1968 version, considered the definitive version of the Jaeger-LeCoultre Polaris diving alarm, which is part of the Memovox alarm series. And so this watch has lug profiles, a dramatically boxed and cambered sapphire designed to look like a vintage plexi, and crown design that pays homage to that Polaris, along with the hands as well as the dial features and the numeral 12. We'll do a quick lume shot here and get a good sense of the dial in the dark. It's actually got plenty of luminescence. You might be surprised that all three hands, primary hands, are luminescent, if the watch is running even in the dark. The watch features a number of functions, including a stop seconds function. And then we have the ability to internally rotate the bezel, so it can't be displaced by knocking the side of the watch. It's pretty much fixed in place as your timing reference. We'll do one more lume shot just so you can see that the bezel index itself is legible in the dark. So if you wanted to do some light-duty diving with this watch, you definitely could. And then we'll take a look at another important feature, which is the little pusher on the side that adjusts the mechanically programmed IWC-designed Kurt Klaus Perpetual calendar system. So this is the fully programmed and synchronized calendar system developed by IWC watchmaker Kurt Klaus and released in 1985. Now, Jaeger-LeCoultre builds it itself, but it's been part of a combined company, first under VDO and later under Richemont, with IWC for decades. So they share a lot of fundamental engineering over the years. Jaeger-LeCoultre has provided base movements to IWC. IWC has provided this calendar system to JLC. So if you fall 3 days behind, you just push this 3 times, and everything, date, month, moon phase, even the year and the decade will advance automatically, so you don't, for example, have to look up what the current phase of the moon is. We have a lovely gradient. This dial, you can see it's got a light frosted center and bright green, and it darkens with lacquer towards the edge. We've got applique indices, applique numeral 12, which intriguingly overlaps the month display. And then we have a little Reho outboard with a few orange accents. That is our timing reference for dives. You can see it's got a sort of clover-like cruciform symmetry. You can split it top to bottom and also bilaterally side to side, and there's a lot of symmetry here. Now this is a unidirectional perpetual calendar, so if you go flying past the current date, you do have to stop the watch for a while and allow time to catch up. So you don't want to go flying past the correct date, and that's why JLC, but not IWC, uses a pusher corrector, because IWC has a quick set in the crown. JLC believes people will accidentally set it far ahead trying to wind or set the time, and so JLC thought it was best to separate the setting of the calendar from the operation of the conventional crowns, and that was just their choice. Now, once You get closer to the dial, you can see that there's an azurage or concentric patterning inside each of these little countersunk sub-registers. Take a look here, because you have the phase of the moon, but then you have this little index, and it doesn't work the way you think. You think it might go around in circles. This is actually a little retrograde moon phase display. So it'll go from 0 to 29.5 and then snap back. So this will only traverse the bottom of this dial. It's a retrograde system. The perpetual calendar does not need to be corrected until the year 2100, so it can deal with irregular length months and leap years. And then the moon phase has an adjustment interval of once every 122 years. So in a century or so, you may have to send this back to IWC. Out back, you can see 100 meters water resistant, verified that this is subject to the 1,000 hours control, a 41.6-day test of fully cased up and assembled chronometry, power reserve, winding efficiency, water resistance, and durability. We've got the caliber 868AA, which has JLC's still relatively new 70-hour power reserve. It's a unidirectional winder with ceramic bearings on the rotor, so those two features combining for better efficiency than bidirectional winding and steel bearings, respectively. We have a durable and precisely adjustable free-sprung balance, and that's more shock resistant, as well as allowing for more precise timing adjustments by using horizontally opposed pairs of screws on the rim of the balance. You can see it uses KIF shock protection. We have stripes on the rotor as well as the bridges, an attractive but machine-applied bevel, to be honest. Perfectly honest about that. There's snailing on the edge of the bridges. There's both polished and fired blued screws. Then you have engine turning on the base plate, and this all beats away at 4 hertz. And I believe it is a 54 joule movement, so you can see that as well. The perpetual calendar elements are on the dial side of the watch, and you can see it's got one mainspring barrel, and I believe this is a 26 millimeter diameter movement, so there is lots to love. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.